goes.
Folks, it is your favorite time of the day, fourth and forever time, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST. Me and the usual suspects, we give you all of the late-breaking NFL news and rumors across the league to help ease the boredom of the offseason. We are here for you. We ask that you just hit that thumbs up sign. It helps propel it out to the YouTube algorithm. And also, when you subscribe, make sure you turn on bell notifications, because we love being able to interact with our live chat during several points in the show. So certainly consider doing so. Richie, how's life, man? How's life out in Long Island? How's the weather?
The weather's actually great. I'm going to go for a nice walk after this. You know, it's 53 degrees and sunny, which is a great day in New York. That's a good day. So I'm excited to go on my little nature walk today. It's been a minute. And excited to be live here on Fourth and Forever. We're like 7 or 8 subscribers away from 20K, by the way.
Damn.
Would it be kind of cool if we hit it on this show? Just throwing it out there. I mean, just seen 7, 8 new people hit the subscribe button. You look at the analytics. Majority of you guys watching don't even subscribe to the channel.
Oh, man. Folks, can we actually surpass our goal today? I really think that we can. TD, how's life, man?
Life is great. First of all, Richie, 53 degrees. It's beautiful anywhere. That's cold. It's almost freezing. You know, that's almost freezing.
Well, you got to man up. How about that?
Y'all New Yorkers, boy. Y'all New York.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Warm weather all year long.
Surprisingly enough, I feel like I'm one of the few people, because you always get into conversations and people are just like, oh my God, I would much rather be cold than hot. I'm like, you're a damn liar. You are a liar. I hate being cold more than anything on the face of the planet. If somebody says, oh man, like I could always put like more clothes on. If any part of my skin is exposed to outside when it is below like 20 degrees, my whole body feels it, bro. I am still freezing. And I'm from Buffalo originally. I get it. I would much rather be walking around swamp ass and say that there's a pool in my general vicinity, hop on in, or better yet, I'll walk into an air-conditioned structure. That's always my thing. It's about 70-ish right now. On Saturday, like I was telling you, I did go to the beach, so I did bathe myself in sunscreen, but like no fail, I always ultimately end up missing one particular spot on my body, and there's like a bunch of like random like sunburn streaks and my belly button. This is probably too much information, but your boy has an innie, okay? So sometimes like when I like lather up like the front, I forget to get down there in the belly button. So I have a bright red belly button right now. Yeah, I know. Listen, subscribe for the football and stay for the way too much information from your host.
You guys watch Severance?
No, you know what? People have been telling me to check it out though. It's good.
The word innie is, I know you're referring to your belly button, but
yeah.
Innie and outie is the reference of Severance. So highly recommend it. Phenomenal show.
So it's similar to Succession?
Well, the whole concept is you're in, like you go to work and they give you a brain surgery of the severance. And it basically, you go to work and it completely deletes your personal life. You don't know your parents, your family. You don't know anything about your personal life. You're at work and you kind of develop a new identity at work. So you're kind of separated. Work life, personal life, completely separate. And it gets crazy because they're at this office and then these people are just like figuring out what they're doing there. It's awesome. It's just really good show. Highly recommend it. And your outie is your version of yourself that's outside of work, and your innie is a version of yourself that's at work.
Wow.
That's weird. That's like the true definition of finding a work wife and having a home wife and not knowing.
Yeah, it's the ultimate work-life balance.
Yeah, that is something.
My gosh.
Jet Base Girl just subscribed. Get to 20K. Thank you, Jet Base Girl.
Thank you. Let's go. We got a Jet Base Girl. Woo, what you know about that?
Yeah, Dolphins Base Girl.
I appreciate that. Super Chat's right off the board. Richie Fresh, what's going on? It's been a while, boys. Is it September yet? Oh, man, listen. It's funny because we were talking about this, and we feel like the NFL season is far away. It's not. It's not at all. It is creeping up a lot faster than we think. And then Richie says, ET is going to phone home on Dan's red dot. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right in the belly button action. But anyway, folks, let's go ahead and get into the topics of today. Kirk Cousins, right? Several people were assuming that Kirk Cousins would have been on the trade block leading up into free agency. But it sounds that Kirk Cousins was doing whatever he could to avoid the situation that he was in last time, where he signed with the Atlanta Falcons. And then what did they do just months later? They picked Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick. It sounds like Kirk Cousins has a no trade clause, and he is only going to waive it if, for example, that he knows that team is not going to draft a quarterback in the first round, because it sounds like this dude still wants to start. I think that there's been plenty of speculation about whether or not we believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to play in 2025, or whether or not that he would be able to get back to his overall peak. But what's our confidence level on Kirk Chainz? Can Kirk Chainz actually still be a quality starter in this league? Are you convinced? TD, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, out of 32 quarterbacks, yeah, he's definitely a starter. I mean, to be quite honest with you, he better than at least 6 quarterbacks in the league right now who are starting for their organization. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, like, I know that we'll dispute this now because we have recency bias, but he's better than Sam Darnold. He's better than, Anthony Richardson. He's better than Carolina. What's his name again? Bryce Young.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he is. You got like a 6-game sample of bias of, he's looking better now.
Don't sleep on Bryce, baby.
Kirk's been slinging that rock for a long time. He have a little
that's your problem.
hiccup. He has a little hiccup last year, and all of a sudden, I'm supposed to put Bryce Young's 6 little good games over Kirk Cousins' continued success, with the exception of a little lull in Atlanta. No, I'm not doing that. So yeah, I get it. So Kirk just trying to do what he does, waive the trade, no trade clause, but he wants to go to an actual contender. But unfortunately, I don't see the market for Kirk Cousins out there to do this unless he's going to the Giants. And I don't even think, that's just not a smart move. But I don't think he would care because he's going to get paid. So that's the only well,
who's going to pay this man?
Maybe Kirk Cousins in Pittsburgh?
What incompetent organization is going to pay this washed-up quarterback?
They don't have to pay him, Richie.
You just said they're going to get paid.
He's going to get paid by Atlanta. They already got 2 years of guarantees. He only played one of them.
All, stop pretending that Kirk Cousins is still, in 2021-22. Like that's not the Kirk Cousins anymore.
I'm not saying that, but you know what?
If I'm looking at going into this season, I'm taking
he better than Justin Fields. He better than Justin Fields.
I'm taking Justin Fields over Kirk Cousins.
No, you need to stop.
I don't want a 36-year-old washed up guy off an Achilles on my team. You're holding on to who Kirk Cousins. You're holding on to who Kirk Cousins was and not who he is. That's your problem.
No. But the problem is you think you know what he is, but he was removed from that Achilles just like Rodgers. I think you're going to see a good season by Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers this year. And now you got me thinking
because he's a backup.
Maybe Kirk Cousins goes to Pittsburgh.
How come Atlanta is so quick to go to Michael Penix if Kirk Cousins has all this guaranteed money and he's so good? Because he's done.
Because listen, I don't blame them for going with the rookie at this point, but don't do that, Richie. Don't act like a man has written his career and it's all downhill from here because of half of a season. Like, we know better than that. We've seen Sam Darnold gave you 10 bad seasons and finally clocked in one. So come on, man. Let's not do that.
And his one season was better than any of Kirk's in Minnesota.
Now you cap it. Kirk done put some seasons up. You forgot Kirk Cousins is the perennial 4,000-yard passer for most of his career.
Perennial Kirk Chainz 4,000. So I think Richie already teased his answer here. It sounds like, Richie, that you would not be convinced that Kirk Cousins has anything to offer or with any team.
No, absolutely not. He's at the stage of his career where the only way he has success is if he goes somewhere and has time to develop into a new system. And it's hard when you're at that age to go to a brand new team and succeed right away. And if he was entering year 2 with Atlanta with the same system, maybe it'd be like, okay, he's going to have another year of continuity. I do not expect him to go to any other team and go out there and put up the numbers he used to put up. Like, he was great. He was awesome for Minnesota, putting up 4,000 yards, 30-plus touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions. But those days are done. Like, that's my point. I will put a lot of money on. We will never see Kirk Cousins do that again. And unfortunately, it has to do with the injury and his age. And I just don't see a proper situation out there. Like, what team out there would be small, you think would benefit from going after Kirk Cousins to be their starting quarterback right now?
Benefit?
Funny.
Yeah.
It's funny
Pittsburgh.
because like, what I would like to do.
Aaron Rodgers.
Here's a sleeper.
Here's
a sleeper. The
It's like
Indianapolis
5 teams,
Colts.
Thank you.
Like,
The Colts,
like the Colts
even the
would probably do that.
Titans. Even the
Titans.
Titans.
Yeah, but those teams aren't
But
built to win now.
given the
Those teams rather go
situation-
young and figure out what Richardson and Daniel Jones got. Or
Well,
what Cam
we
Ward or
know
who
they're
got.
not built to win now. Kurt is
Hey, Richie.
obviously going to go to a team that's not unless he go to Pittsburgh.
Hey, Richie, hear me out. It's Miami Dolphins.
Well, he would be the immediate best quarterback on the roster. If he went to Miami. That's different.
Hey,
Miami
I'll take
Dolphins.
Kirk Cousins. I ain't even going to play with you, Richie. I'll take Kirk Cousins.
Well, he's
I'll
better than
take Kirk
Tua.
Cousins in
Kirk
Miami.
Cousins.
He's actually better
I'm
than
not-
Tua, so I wouldn't
Hey,
blame
listen,
you.
I ain't
All right.
disputing.
Okay. Next up. All right. What about this one? Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Barely.
All
Barely.
right. All
In this
right.
league,
Hey,
bro,
hey,
he
listen,
brings
I'm
an
pulling up
element
all the starting
that Kirk
QBs.
Cousins can't, bro. You can only win with Kirk if you have a good O-line. I mean,
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
you can't do anything with him without. He can't move.
You're right. You're right. He
can't
is
move.
indeed.
Which is why I'll
He-
take Fields over him as well. Give me that dynamic playmaker at
Oh.
the position.
God,
He-
Fields is
100%.
not a proven passer.
Did I say he was? I said he has the
Yeah, but
mobility,
that's
which
a
I'd
problem.
rather
At
have
least
right
I
now.
know. At least I know Kyler Murray can throw the ball. At least
talking
I
about-
know that.
I'm talking about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but that's why I wouldn't take Kurt over Kyler. But Fields, come on, Richie, stop.
Justin
that.
Fields is one of 3 quarterbacks in NFL history to have a season with over 1,000 rushing yards. Okay,
No.
so he's got
That's
that
just
ability.
rushing yard. That's just rushing yard.
And that's my point. His ability to run the ball is a difference maker that I'm willing to bet on than an aging Kirk Cousins.
Y'all got a solid old line now, Richie. You need one more in the
Which is
draft.
exactly why I'd rather have
And-
Justin Fields.
No,
Run the
no.
football.
Why you would rather have Kirk Cousins?
Way,
You can
dude.
protect him throwing
if-
the Garrett.
That was a fear of mine. You know how much of a fear I had heading into this offseason that Kirk Cousins was going to be our quarterback? I was going to be miserable if that was our quarterback, going from
I
Aaron
can't-
Rodgers
I can't
to
believe
Kirk
you.
Cousins, bro. That would have been miserable. Another aging quarterback with an Achilles. Give me something fresh, young, exciting. Thank you.
Yeah,
Justin
something
Fields.
fresh, something young. Oh man. All right, moving on. I had no idea that TD was that passionate about Kirko Chains. I
Because
love
of that,
it. Well,
that TV show he saw, he's like, oh, I like Kirk Cousins now.
oh man, that is that dude. But anyway, so the long speculation of the Minnesota Vikings quarterback situation, I think based off of them all but denying Aaron Rodgers a spot on the roster, them shipping off Sam Darnold, I think all of us assumed that JJ McCarthy was the starter. Apparently, it sounds like the Minnesota Vikings have not yet told the young man that they are planning on starting him. All right. You would assume that if Minnesota was completely out of the question of the free agent quarterback market, that they'd probably tell the young man, look, dude, here are the keys. You're running the offense. Might as well start getting ready because you have some big shoes to fill. What exactly is Minnesota gaining from this? Do we think that they are still potentially thinking about bringing in Aaron Rodgers? Richie, thoughts?
And Kirk could end up back there, Richie.
Kirko. Oh my God.
Gosh. Listen, I think JJ McCarthy, he has to be their number one at this point. I don't know what other veteran they're going to go. Ryan Tannehill, another washed up aging quarterback. I mean, give me a break, man. I think at the end of the day, JJ McCarthy, this is his chance. They drafted him in the first round. If he's healthy, he's their quarterback. But I feel like they don't need to commit to it verbally. It's about internal conversations. And I feel like an external commitment means nothing. It's all about going out there and executing and letting JJ McCarthy earn his job because you want it to be earned, not given. That's really what this means to me.
It's just some last second motivation in the offseason for the guy to get it done. And I mean, honestly, we've seen what Kevin O'Connell has been able to accomplish with a handful of different quarterbacks. And at bare minimum, it is going to be serviceable offensive play. So JJ would really need to suck for the Minnesota Vikings to take any sort of step back in general. TD, what do you think this means? Vikings have not committed to giving the QB1 spot over to JJ McCarthy. Talk to us.
This completes the puzzle to me. And I don't think he absolutely needs to suck. I think that the Minnesota Vikings have put themselves in a position where they actually have high expectations now. There weren't any expectations last year, but the success you had last year just sets you up for high expectations this year. You're like, a lot of people are looking to see if you regress with JJ or not. So what does that mean? Ryan Tannehill better do all he can to try to get on this roster. Why do I say that? It's because they're in a situation where they can't pander to anyone. They just have to play the best player available. This is why Rodgers was on the radar to begin with. But the asking price wasn't in line with what they want to, correlate the situation with. Because the asking price is you're the guaranteed starter. We don't need to pay a backup quarterback or a starting quarterback right now, like money that's going to say you are the starter. We need to pay a guy $15 million, like maybe Tannehill. They might pay like a $15 million premium and say, this doesn't make you the starter, but it does give you the opportunity to start. We want you to come into camp, battle this thing out, and I'm going to play the best quarterback that give me the best chance to win, because we built the roster that's better than it was last year. And I think that we can compete for something special. I'm not going to take the chance on wasting that on development that's going to continue developing anyway. So if JJ McCarthy owns the starting job because of his play, he's our guy. Let's go win games. If he doesn't beat Ryan Tannehill out, then Ryan Tannehill starts. We're not committing to anybody. And we'll let Ryan Tannehill know that as well. This doesn't mean you're the starter, but it will give you a fair chance to come into camp and win the job. I think that's exactly what this is right now. A guy like Aaron Rodgers outpriced himself in this situation because it would have been guaranteed starter. And they don't want to bring in a guy who feels entitled that he's going to start guaranteed. And that's why Tannehill name came up in the first place. So it's going to be J.J. McCarthy's job to lose if they can secure a guy like Tannehill, but it is a QB battle. There is no solidified number one until Kevin O'Connell says there is. So I like this situation for Minnesota, and I like what JJ said. Good, because I like to be the type of guy that earns something. I love that. And congratulations, Minnesota, for even thinking about, even if you don't, thinking about bringing in competition at the position. I wish teams like the Miami Dolphins would actually do that.
Zach Wilson.
Maybe this year they did. I don't know.
Yeah, he about to ball out in the camp, bro. I'm telling you, Dolphins fans are gonna love him.
Hey, you're gonna be a hater, Richie.
He's about to ball out, and he's about to mimic that pro day throw that we all
he does is ball out in training camp and preseason. That's what he does.
That's all he does, folks. There are currently 117 of you watching right now on YouTube. We ask, right? We are so close to 20,000 subscribers. I can guarantee you right now that there are at least 10 people in here watching that are not subscribed. All right. If you are one of those people, we kindly ask that you go on ahead and subscribe to this channel and help us reach our goal on today's episode. Man, I think that would jazz up each and every single one. 19,993 of you. That is absolutely insane, folks. Absolutely insane. So out of anybody watching, I guarantee you, a wholehearted guarantee that 17 of you watching are, at least 7 of you are not subscribed. Help us out. Let's get to that number. 20,000 would be a massive milestone for this company as we continue to move forward. Moving on, the Indianapolis Colts, which is a really interesting team to me because they never do anything during the offseason, right? And they always seem to be stuck in this continuous, cycle of mid. It just doesn't work out for the Indianapolis Colts. It's like 8-9, 9-8, miss the playoffs, get bounced in the wild card round. They remind me of the Buffalo Bills prior to the Josh Allen days, right? Like never good enough to get a franchise-altering draft pick, but also never bad enough to actually go on ahead and actually make some noise in the playoffs, vice versa. You know exactly what I'm talking about here. However, it sounds like that they are interested in Trey Hendrickson. You heard a lot of Bengals fans, a lot of like sort of high up NFL personalities say that Cincinnati is going to try and give Trey Hendrickson a contract. He also mentioned that if he does not get a deal from Cincinnati, he is fully prepared to sit out, will not play for the organization. Is Trey Hendrickson on the move, folks? Or are you convinced that Cincinnati is going to find a way to bring this guy back for the 2025 NFL season? TD, talk to me. Update on Trey Hendrickson.
I still think he'll be back. This is the area where you struggle the most on the defensive side of the football, and you're willing to get rid of one of the best players in the NFL at the position. It's something you just can't do. I can see if we were talking about addition through subtraction, but he's not under contract. If he was under contract making crazy money, I could understand moving on to get 3 nice pieces for the price of one great one. But he's not even, under like long-term contract to really have those savings. So therefore, you got to bring this guy back. You'll figure out a way to get it done. I believe it will get done. And again, we only need one more subscriber. I know you're watching right now. Go ahead and sub to the channel.
Well, we gotta witness it live, man. We gotta see it.
One of you is there. All right. Maybe you'll get a nip slip or something if there you go, baby. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Oh man.
A Bob slap for 20K. That's huge.
Oh man.
In all seriousness, though, pausing what we're talking about right now. That's a huge feat, though. 20K subs on Roundtable Sports.
Can you twerk? Dan, can you twerk? No. I cannot twerk.
20K. Congratulations, fellas, because we know that this channel was it has significance for us on one that we got from Master at Work. And as it went down at first, it recovered, and now it's on its way back up, passing that threshold. So it's a beautiful sign. And thank you to everybody watching. Real quick, special shout out and thanks to, and I know a lot of people show us love on Roundtable Sports, but I do want to take the time to give some kudos to one guy in particular. And this is not to discount anything that anybody else does, but somebody who's been rocking with this channel for a long time and they've contributed to the growth of this channel. Shout out to Glenn, man.
Glenn. Yeah.
Real quick, thank you for all that you've done, man. That QB segment on AFC East and all the stuff that you've done, even donating a membership that was on a regular basis. Just we appreciate you, bro. We'll talk about it all the time, all right? But thank you, everybody. Flicks in the house. Shout out to the Mod Squad and all the members, man. Congratulations, Dan and Richie.
Damn, man. Congratulations, and I can't wait for the 100,000 subscriber celebration here. Hopefully soon. Yeah. Hopefully soon, man. Listen, we are
$2 says congrats, y'all, from own channels to a whole brand. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate that, man. The journey is what it's all about. It really, really is. But anyway, Richie, enlighten us. Trey Hendrickson. What do you think, man?
I don't know, man. Trey Hendrickson or 20K subs talk? It's 20K subs.
Hey, listen. 20K. People want to talk ball, man. The people want to talk ball. All right. Talk to us about Trey Hendrickson. Will he be on the move? Will it be the Colts? Will it be some other team? Is he going to stay in Cincinnati? Is he going to sit out for the entire year of 2025? What do you got?
Back-to-back years with 17 plus sacks. He deserves the bag. He's at the age where he's definitely going to be trying to get the bag as best as he can. I mean, listen, you think of Trey Hendrickson and what he's done. I feel like he definitely wants to get traded if the Bengals do not want to give him the contract that he's looking for. He's at the stage of his career where he doesn't have many prime years left, but he's still in the prime of his career. So I do expect him to get paid. I'm not going to count out the Bengals, bro. I'm really not. I mean, everyone's like, oh, the Bengals can't do it. They're still trying. They're still trying. Nobody's thought that T. Higgins and Jamar Chase was going to come back, and they got that done. So don't rule out the Cincinnati Bengals figuring out a way to keep Trey Hendrickson. That's the one thing I'll say about it.
Keeping Trey Hendrickson, who knows? That has been a story that has been dominating the offseason. And as always, we will continue to keep you updated on that. I'll tell you what, man, one of the most promising wide receivers in the league sounds like that he's already announced his potential retirement in the league. All right. He said that he plans on retiring at the age of 30 years old. He is 24, and it just so happens to be wide receiver Puka Nacua of the LA Rams, right? He said that I want to sort of mimic Aaron Donald and get out on top and not be a veteran who just is afraid to let go. And I also want to be able to play with my children. So that way, I am not completely destroyed with injuries, and I can go out with a pretty solid damn career. Thoughts on this? Puka deciding that he is going to retire at the age of 30, meaning that we have about 6 years left of him. TD.
I think it's beautiful. I mean, he's one of the premier receivers in the league. He's going to get 2 bags. I mean, the young bag is the young bag, but he'll get 2 more bags if he keep it up. Rightful time to retire, man, and preserve your body and preserve your health. As long as he's smart with his financials, I think that's a great career. At 30 years old, retiring, maybe he would have made a lot of money by then, especially with the way the wide receiver market is now. I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a whole career, and that's a well career. And this is a violent game that has a lot of ramifications that you won't really know until you're of older age. So this will also help him minimize the risk and exposure to unseen things of the future that could be negative towards his life and others around him. So I like it. I like the plan. And there you have it. Tyreek Hill was speaking of it recently as well. I don't know if that's still the same. He had 5 kids last year. I don't know if that changes anything.
Yeah. He's going to have to.
Yeah, he might be playing.
You
got to keep getting that cash. You got to raise the babies, man.
Oh, damn.
He's doing it. That's the beautiful part. But yeah, so great plan, Puka Nacua. And you know what? Try to stick to it and make it a goal. And if you achieve it, kudos to him.
See, it makes sense to me because nothing breaks my heart more like where I see a quality player in this league and then he gets into the is he washed debate. For example, Kirk Cousins, right? Like we were just
100%.
having it. Is he washed? You should have walked away, right? You should have walked away prior to this. And even Aaron Rodgers, whether you agree with it or not, he has been subject to that conversation / that debate. I think Julio Jones is probably the best example of a wide receiver who had a great opportunity of potentially leaving the game when he was at the top of it. But then for the last 2 or 3 years, when he tried to play prior to his retirement, he just became what many sort of perceive as a joke, right? I love this for him. I'm curious to see if he does, though, because especially the way that the NFL cap is skyrocketing each and every single year, perhaps he may not be able to say goodbye to some of these crazy contracts. My bet is he's gone by 33. Richie, thoughts?
Yeah, another example is OBJ. He just washed, but still in the league. I mean, there's a lot of guys that were really good wide receivers and then fizzled out. I feel like Puka Nacua saying this now is interesting. I think now that he said it, nobody's going to give him a long-term extension that puts him past 30. I feel like next time he gets a bag at 27, it'll be a 3-year deal or something, just to make sure there's no money there. But there's nothing wrong with this. There's a lot of players that retire early and they're satisfied. They got the money that set themselves up for generations if they are financially responsible. There's also, a risk involved with playing football that a lot of people just forget. I mean, we're so in love with the sport. We forget that these guys are literally out there putting their own livelihood on the line and risking their own health long-term. I think that's one of the only things in this sport that no one really likes to talk about because it's a serious topic. And I think that's also part of why some players like to retire early. So nothing wrong with it. And he doesn't want to retire now, so no one think that. It's more at 30 years old, and he's 24 years old right now. So that means he's got 6 good years of prime football for the LA Rams. Now he's teamed up with Devontae Adams. They re-signed Tutu Atwell, and they're going to try to have some fun this year. So we'll see.
Sign it up, man. See how those LA Rams play out in 2025 and for the remainder of Puka Nacua's career, man. Look at that. You know, it's funny because this story is not something that I would have had on my 2025 bingo card, but for some reason, the media loves discussing what Rodgers is looking for, right? And Aaron Rodgers ultimately ended up saying that he is looking for a culture similar to the Green Bay Packers.
Why not the Jets culture? What's wrong?
Right? But here's the deal. Why would he be looking for a culture like that? Didn't he all but force himself out of that organization by itself? Wanted nothing to do with them, was angry at the front office for drafting Jordan Love when they did. Does this make any sense to you, Richie, our number one Aaron Rodgers fan on this show?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, I disagree with a lot you just said there about him forcing his way out of Green Bay and all that. I feel like the Green Bay Packers wanted to move on to Jordan Love, and the reason why he was upset with the Jordan Love situation is they didn't tell Rodgers, so he was just caught off guard, and then he embraced Jordan Love, and he absolutely helped him develop into the quarterback he is today. And why wouldn't he want to have a Green Bay Packers culture? He was there for 20 years, and he was very successful. Won a Super Bowl ring, 4-time MVP. I mean, we're just going to throw away all the great years he had with Green Bay. So I don't see anything wrong with him wanting a Green Bay Packers culture. But if you go to the Steelers, you're not getting that. You're getting the Steelers culture. And let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl for his only ring, which is interesting if he goes there. So I don't know. And also, I'm sorry, but after really knowing Rodgers, or should I say following along on Rodgers' career for the last few years, I really find everything that's out there hard to believe because his group is so tight-knit. So, for example, this. Where did Albert Breer get this news? You know what I mean? Rodgers doesn't talk to anybody that talks to the media. So, this could be spread out of Albert Breer, assuming he wants it, and he makes it seem like it just so he can get a quote. So, just to let things out there, there's a lot of stuff out there because the reality is he's not going to find the Green Bay Packers culture anywhere but Green Bay because they're unique to them. So, but hey, Pittsburgh does have their own culture that's proven to be very successful. So that's why I feel like he should go there.
All right, TD, thoughts on this?
This is getting weird. I personally feel like he don't have options, but his response is as if he does. Unless he knows something we don't, which could very well be the case. But Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay is Green Bay. I mean, there are 32 teams in the NFL, and there's probably 16 different type of cultures. Every team don't have the same culture. And you're not going to just find what you had in Green Bay. It's always different no matter where you go in one facet or another. So, again, hey, do you want to go be a backup for Jordan Love? Like Richie say, if that's the case. But I just think he needs to go ahead and settle with Pittsburgh and keep it moving. The goal right now for Aaron Rodgers needs to be to try to win and not go out on an L. Like people remembering you went out on a Jets failure. You got to right that wrong for your legacy. Yeah, you're going to end up one of the great quarterbacks of all time, but that's not a good way to go out the way that you did. So go to a team where you got a chance to win, which is Pittsburgh, and try to make the playoffs and get into a playoffs game. And let's see what you do from there. But all of this, I'm looking for a certain culture. What's wrong with Pittsburgh's culture? It's a winning culture. So I don't get what's taking so long. And maybe because he won't have the control that he usually has or likes to have in Pittsburgh. So, because everywhere Aaron Rodgers is gone, he's kind of had a say to one way or another. So I don't know if that's running him off, not really feeling Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin he not having that. So we shall see. Aaron Rodgers but I did see a report he should be making a decision in the next 2 days. We'll see how true that is.
Oh, man. We will continue to monitor indeed. And then I'm having a hard time understanding this too. It sounds like Deion Sanders wants his son to go to the New York Giants. I feel like that's not necessarily a place that you would like to send your son. In fact, I would say out of any team that is possible that could draft Shedeur Sanders, I probably wouldn't want it to be the Giants. Sure, you could argue the Cleveland Browns, but at the very least, they have a way better offensive line, at least, right? Like, that is what Cleveland has going for them, at least. That, and then plus some solid defensive help here and there. The Giants, sitting this guy behind one of the worst offensive lines in all of football, sure, I love the fact that, so with so their young wide receiver in Malik Neighbors, that's going to be great. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I would want to stay away from the Giants like the damn plague. Richie, thoughts on this? Why in the world would Deion want Shedeur to go to the New York Giants?
Marketability, baby. New York City.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's the media heart of the world. It's the greatest city in the world. And I think that if he thrives there, he is the king of this league. I mean, you talk about the Giants or the Jets. I think that a big draw to the Giants, if you're Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, is the opportunity to turn the organization around. And I think that means something. And I think that's a big reason why Justin Fields even chose the Jets over staying with Pittsburgh, is if you go to the Jets and turn that team around, you are looked at as an absolute savior. If Shedeur goes to the Giants and turns that organization around, he will be looked at as the savior. In New York, you talk about primetime, like, he brings all the publicity, brings all the lights everywhere. He lit up Colorado with all these like headlines. Like, can you imagine what it would be like with the media market of New York? And they got Malik Neighbors. So you get Malik Neighbors and Shedeur Sanders. Those are your two superstars of New York City for the New York Giants' sake of things. I mean, and that's all things externally. I didn't even talk about internally, because it doesn't make sense from the internal perspective of the Giants, right? They don't have an infrastructure. They don't have a winning culture. They don't really have anything that you feel like Shedeur would be successful. I just brought up the outside stuff, which is the only thing I can think of that makes the Giants an attractable destination.
TD, why would Deion send his son to that dumpster fire?
Yeah, I was just looking into because I didn't know that was the case where he was advocating for.
And he said New York, by the way, not the Giants.
Stop, Richie.
I'm
Stop.
just saying.
Okay, he talking about the Jets. Y'all not moving up.
He's gonna be on the.
But Richie hit it right on the head, and I didn't think about it. But as soon as he said it, bam, light bulb, it just hit. Marketability. This is the biggest stage. And Richie's right. You become the king of New York. You become the king of the world in the NFL. Shedeur in New York is a patient move. He has a receiver. How do they get him, though?
He's going to be there, bro.
Yeah, he'll be there.
The Browns are crazy if they don't take him.
There's a lot of buzz around.
I get it, but the Browns, they would have to trade with the Browns. And the Browns probably would if they wanted to do a
what if the Browns
anyway.
want Abdul Carter, bro? And they're like, hey.
Yeah, but guess what? The Giants not going to select Abdul Carter if Shedeur's there. So they could go ahead and get the little small ransom.
Well, the only way that will work is if the Browns got to tell the Giants, hey, there's other teams calling. And if you don't trade with us, then we're going to – but there has to be those other teams calling for him.
Or the Browns will say, I'll draft Shedeur myself. Do you want him that bad? Because
he would be – I would hate for him to go to the Browns. Shedeur. That would suck.
Shedeur.
Yeah, which is why when you look at the options, he'll die in Tennessee. He'll die in with the Browns. And New York, the market is so big that even 10-win play would be huge for that organization.
And it's also in a division that just got Jaden Daniels and a Super Bowl winning Eagles. Yeah. Like that's they need a splash at quarterback. I think there's a chance here. I really do.
Versus Daniels.
I think he's going to go to the Giants the more I research it.
He's going to be a New York Giant, man. You heard it here first.
And the Giants are actually going to be like, what am I trying to say? You have a reason to watch the Giants. Like the Giants have been just boring these last few years.
But this is why the Browns have all the leverage and they're in a perfect position. Like, let it be known, we'll draft Shedeur, but if you want him, we're willing to.
And then Deion whispers in the Giants organization, we don't want the Browns. They're not taking you, bro.
Yeah. But if the Browns come out and say we're open for business, there's 4 teams on the phone right away, and the Jets are one of them. Then, if they openly say it,
the Jets.
If the Browns say, yeah, why wouldn't they be? If the Jets say we're open for business, I mean the Browns. Yeah. See, a report just came out. Deion dismisses Shedeur rumor. Shedeur, Sanders does not appear to have preferred NFL landing spot for his son. Yeah, sure. But the Browns are the team that can win out of this because there's 4 teams right now that would move up and take this. 4 teams right now that would do it. So the Browns need to be leveraging this situation unless they are going to take them.
Some sleeper teams have entered the conversation, folks.
The Miami Dolphins.
The Miami Dolphins. Wow.
Hey, we might move up if it's available.
You ain't moving up, bro. You got your future. Look what I just saw on my feed. Trending. New Dolphins quarterback Zach Wilson says he believes that he could be a starting quarterback. I still believe I can be a starter in this league whenever that opportunity comes. And so I just try to put myself in the best situation with the best team and coaches to do the absolute best that I can.
Oh, I got to go live. No, I'm just playing.
Well, no, you're not. I
baby.
promise you're about to go live. I promise you're about to go live.
I got babies.
Breaking news. Zach Wilson says he's going to be the
breaking news. Zach Wilson is going to steal to his job,
with
man.
8 fire emojis.
He did say he believes
no thumbnail at all.
Starter.
No thumbnail. 8 fire emojis.
40,000 views.
40,000.
Yes.
That's precisely what we'll see.
Oh my God.
It's certainly in. Wow. Listen, I'm a big fan, TD. Anyway, all right. So we did have a Russell Wilson topic. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. But I think the biggest piece of news had to do with Cam Ward's pro day in Miami, right? And he was asked whether or not that he is indeed the number 1 pick of the NFL draft. And he said that he has solidified himself at that point. Now, as many of us know, I am not the biggest fan of this quarterback class. I think Cam Ward is indeed the best quarterback to come out of this class. I don't think he's the best player in the NFL draft, but obviously the Tennessee Titans are desperate for a quarterback. So what do you guys think? Was that pro day yesterday, based off of what you saw, enough to solidify the fact we can go on ahead and just put on the draft boards? It is a cold, hard truth that Cam Ward is about to be a Tennessee Titan. TD, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's solidified, and that's why the Titans said, you know what? I think he's helped us make our mind up. I don't think it was solidified before that, but I think now they're like, hey, let's bring him in for another visit. I think we might go ahead and make this decision. That's, cross all T's, dot all I's now, because this is our guy. We're about to select Cam Ward. Let's look at him one more time, and let's interview him another time, and let's go talk to his neighbor's dog to see if he ever kicked him or anything. So they're going to do their due diligence now. I believe they know that they're going Cam Ward, number 1 overall. He will be a Tennessee Titans, the loaded Tennessee Titans. So, yeah, I think it solidifies it. People, take Cam Ward off your board. He's going number 1 overall at this point. And now the real conversation is what the Browns and the Giants or someone else. Really, the conversation now, the first pick in the draft is the Browns now. What are they going to do? Because Cam is already going to Tennessee. That's a wrap.
It is a wrap just as much as it was a wrap that Caleb Williams was going to the Chicago Bears last year. I think we all knew it is cemented. I think nothing changes in 2025 myself. Richie, did Cam Ward do enough to solidify himself as the first overall pick?
Yeah, it's just funny because the last time a pro day throw went viral, it was Zach Wilson, and everyone thinks that's what made Zach Wilson go number 2, which I never really bought into, by the way, because there was Zach Wilson jet site before the pro day. But I think Cam Ward definitely solidified himself as the pick. I expect him to be going number 1. I think the Tennessee Titans would be pretty dumb to not do this. I really think that at the end of the day, you look at what Cam Ward brings to the table, his arm talent. It was on full display. When you're at the pro day, the only thing you can show off is how good is your arm, stretching the ball down the field. But what you can't show is real live pass rush and all that stuff. So I think it's pretty much a lock. He's going to go number 1, but I do like his confidence. I mean, he said, I'm going to solidify myself as a number 1 overall pick heading into pro day. And I mean, he did just that. I mean, you see what he said. I'm solidifying it today. I mean, I like the kid's confidence. I think that's important. You got to be able to transcend and show who you are. That's what he did.
Yeah. That is what he did indeed. Folks, we cannot thank you enough for tuning in to another edition of your favorite midday NFL show on the internet. That is Roundtable Sports, 4th and Forever. We're going to let you go, but not before we go around the panel and have everyone say their goodbyes. TD, what do you got to say to the audience before we send them off on this gorgeous Tuesday?
Just thanks for tuning in. Thank you for helping Roundtable Sports achieve a new feat in 20,000 subscribers. We appreciate all the love and support. We will see you all tomorrow, bigger and better as always. We love you all.
Oh, man. Richie, what do you got for us, man? What do you got?
Well, we're very excited, man, that we hit the goal of 20K subs. That's because of you guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. That is a huge milestone of this YouTube channel, and we cannot thank you guys enough for all the consistent support that you guys have been showing us here on Roundtable Sports. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 30K. All right. Much love to everybody. We will see you guys later. Peace out.
Folks, we appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
And check out Underdog while you're at it. Appreciate you.
Check out Underdog as well. Code RTS. Up to $1,000 bonus credit. That's a free pick.